Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion, and we are coming to you from Washington, D.C. We can see a building off in the distance that says Spy. That is the International Spy Museum. So I thought, hey, why don't we walk over there and check that out today? Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. This should be a lot of fun and highly educational. That's certainly one way of spying. The primitive way. Take a look at that. That is the James Bond Aston Martin. Wow. Talk about historic. This is the original film car. Think of all the gadgets and gizmos in that car. So it says dress to seduce. This ornate bodice may have belonged to Mata Hari. She was similarly provocative costumes on stage with a confident sexuality defied traditional feminine modesty. Mata Hari countered charges of indecency by describing her dance as an artistic sacred poem. Here they're showing that not everything is what it seems. You can see they've got something concealed in the sole of the shoe in there. And the umbrella. That hat could holster a Colt 25 caliber pistol. There's a secret compartment in that flask for your passport and documents. And then there is a hidden microphone in that cigarette. That chessboard has a hidden map built into it. It says that they use this for, this East German intelligence used this to reveal invisible ink messages. Agents communicate with special ink visible only under ultraviolet light of a specific wavelength. And this is a stone that's split in half to show a secret compartment where you could hide something in plain view. Same with those spikes, you could put something inside that tube and then put a cap on it and spike it into the ground. In this table lamp, they put a transceiver that works as a listening device, so it says an agent and handler in the same hotel could secretly communicate over the hotel's electrical circuit using this modified table lamp. Also functions as a listening device. See a little earpiece right there. Says that clock, a Moscow agent traveling near his CIA case officer's residence used this system to covertly send a low-powered radio signal requesting a meeting. A receiver hidden in this clock in the officer's home illuminated a tiny red light above the number 12. That's a portable radio station in a suitcase. First used by the U.S. intelligence agency in World War II. And here it says household items such as headache powder, vodka, cellophane from cigarette packs could be used by agents in the field to make a light-sensitive emulsion for microdots. And that says that is the world's first microdot photograph. Started as a Victorian-era novelty, later became a sensational spy tool. It's the amazing microdot. It says this tiny negative holds 755 letters of text from a marble tablet at St. Mary's Church in the English town of Kirkby Lonsdale. Here's a member of the KGB using a bug detector where he could listen through the walls. And here they actually have one. It's that same one that's seen in the photograph. There you can see they put a bug inside of a log, like a tree stump. And then in the sole of this shoe as well. An American diplomat in an East European country sent his shoe out for repair. The local counterintelligence service secretly outfitted them with a hidden microphone and transmitter. That's a rifle directional microphone designed to filter out background noise and monitor conversations. This is cool. It says in 1945, a group of Soviet children visited the U.S. Embassy in Moscow and gave the ambassador a hand-carved Great Seal of the U.S. It stayed in his office until 1952, when technicians discovered a remarkable listening device inside. It was the gift that kept on giving. It says Britain's M19 employed a magician to help design some of its tools, perhaps this one. Soak off the top layer off this card to reveal a numbered map section. Assemble all the sections to form an escape map. These are a pencil concealed with daggers, where the lead should be. Here's some women's jewelry with conceal compartments. This is showing that they concealed a microphone into this tooth. You can see the tooth is actually cut in half. And here they're showing that you could conceal something in your eye. This guy did. A fake piece of eye over top. Now wait till you see the next one. Oh geez. It says this prototype, never used in the field, was specifically designed to be used by downed male pilots to conceal a small escape radio. Male security guards, it was thought, would not be thoroughly searched in their genitalia area. So that is indeed a fake. And then that is, that's what you think it is. That is a, that's basically excrement that they, well, fake excrement they could hide things in. And that battery there, it says a special battery works both as a power source and a concealment. Inside there's a small battery and a hollow cavity to hold microfilm, money, and messages. That you can still get. Those are kind of novelty things now. The shaving cream with the screw off bottom. Here they have a picture of a guy meeting President George Bush, H.W. Bush, and it says that he wore a mask to the meeting and the president never knew. He was completely fooled. How the mask was made remains completely classified. So too is the mask itself, which is still at the CIA. But they have a photo of the mask. This is something that an actual CIA former chief of disguise developed, a pregnancy suit. And then this is showing how you could use a makeup kit to completely change your appearance. And they would also use like fake teeth and fake latex for masks. And this one's talking about when they used a disguise, the CIA used a disguise to actually steal a submarine. There was the CIA Deputy Director Vernon Walters wig when he did it. The crew clothing with his fake name on it and everything. Here's a flying spy pigeon from Germany with a camera attached to it. And it's dated 1914 to 1918. And they actually have a little German toy of a soldier demonstrating using this, and it's that bird with the camera on it. As the CIA gave a suicide pin like this to some U-2 pilots on Soviet overflight missions that would cause near instantaneous death, but its use was optional. This says, how to get film down to Earth from space. A protective bucket carried 60 miles of film on a reel like this from Big Bird, the Kh9 Hexagon Satellite. It was dropped by a parachute through the atmosphere until snatched by a plane in midair. And here's like a little mosquito drone, and it says Soviet intelligence made this model of a CIA mini drone. At the time, it was too small to be remotely controlled or carry surveillance equipment. That's no longer the case, and today's devices are even smaller. So this is a mobile DNA device called the Eagle. It says this mobile chemical imaging device, the Eagle, can identify pathogens on surfaces. It uses fluorescence spectroscopy to find the biological agent and Raman spectroscopy to identify it, searching its built-in reference library. That comes in pretty handy, but I can't even pronounce any of it. This is a Enigma Machine.
What that means is you press a key on the keyboard for a particular letter, and there's a lamp board and a different letter lights up. And the reason that happens is because there are 3 rotors inside the machine which perform the transposition of the letters. If you press
so you can send hidden messages
over 17,000 times before you got the same encryption path as you got the first time. On the front, you also have what's called a plug port, and on that you can plug A to F, and then when you press A, it'll go down and go in as F. So it introduces another layer of complexity.
This device, used by the U.S. Army until World War II, employs the same basic principles as once invented by Thomas Jefferson. Rotate the disk to encipher a message. Has 15 septillion possible combinations. Kennedy and Khrushchev, the war begins in the minds of men. The spy who saved the world, Oleg Penkovsky. Single most valuable agent in CIA history, declared 1768 agency paper. A disillusioned Soviet military intel officer volunteered to spy for the US and UK in the 1960s, passing military secrets that shed light on Soviet intentions and weapons capabilities. Penkovsky copied hundreds of classified military documents using a commercially available Minox model camera, similar to this one. Oh, there's John F. Kennedy's report card from 1930. And propaganda, G.I. Joe. So this is called Sleeping Beauty. It says, how do you sneak up on a warship? Meet the motorized submersible canoe from Britain's Special Operations Executive, nicknamed Sleeping Beauty. Sleek World War II craft glides silently on the surface, then dives underwater. That's Sleeping Beauty right there. And that's the top secret Sleeping Beauty Operator's Manual from 1943, and its compass. And then of course that's one way of going undetected. Camouflage. That's a Bolshevik banner up there. And that is a Russian chess set using Bolshevik leaders as the pieces. Antonio Mendez, Master of Disguise. He's a skilled artist, started an agency as a forger and counterfeiter, crafting false documents. It's all in the details, he would say, and his eye for detail soon led to a broader slate of creative tasks. Ultimately served as both CIA Chief of Disguise and Chief of Graphics and Authentication. That little cigar box is his toolbox. It says he had pretty much everything in this kit that he needed to forge. Covered documents and pocket litter. Contains rubber stamps with immigration seals, colored chalks, markers, a pen, knife, and various other items. They have a script for Argo, and it says the movie that wasn't. Most Hollywood films are fiction. In this case, so was the production studio to support the ruse. Mendez team created Studio 6 for the 6 house guests. They found a real script, a sci-fi film called Argo, set in the desert, perfect for arid Iran. They even took out ads for Argo in Hollywood trade papers and held casting calls, all in the name of creating an ironclad cover. And there were their business cards. Here they have an exhibit on Leon Trotsky, who was trying to lead a revolt against Stalin and then was exiled. This is 1940. Exiled Russian revolutionary Trotsky welcomed a man he thought was a friend into his private study. Moments later, Trotsky lay bleeding on the floor, victim of a grisly blow to the head. Ramon Mercader was wearing these glasses as he drove an axe into Leon Trotsky's skull in 1940. They shattered when guards burst in and beat him. After serving 20 years in prison, he lived in the Soviet Union and Cuba until his death in 1978. And there was his murder weapon. He hid that shortened ice climbing axe under his suit jacket, suspended by a string. It says, look closely. A rust mark from his bloody fingerprint is still visible on the blade. Oh yeah, right there. Mexican Police Department kept the axe as evidence, later putting it on exhibit when the museum director retired in the 1960s. He received the axe as a retirement gift. For 40 years, his daughter slept with it under her bed. Creepy. The order was given by Stalin. And these are all things that have been turned into guns. Like that lipstick right there. And that pack of cigarettes. And that glove. Even that ring. Shot with a poison pellet from this. Fabric wasn't burned as it would be with a gunshot, suggesting an air gun. Poison pellet entered Markov's body through the small hole found in his trousers. He described being approached by a man with an umbrella. Another form of camouflage, dressing to disappear, shinobi. Modern interpretation of century-old ninja uniforms. These are called shooting stars. Here's a great statue of Washington. They're talking about how he hired spies, and that's how he won the Revolutionary War. He outspied the British. Says he was trying to hire Nathaniel Sackett for $50 a month. The original letter that George Washington wrote in 1777, trying to hire a spy. And they said they actually have the original, but they can only keep it on display for a couple of months out of the year. So here they're talking about moments of our failure when we didn't find out about it in time. Of course, the World Trade Center. They have some interesting things on display. Not only a piece of the World Trade Center right there, but they said they also found these charred flight manuals amid the debris of the World Trade Center crash site in New York City. A number of hijackers had taken flight lessons at schools in the United States.
The average person is going to say, how could they have missed it?
I want every mother in America to see this film, said President Roosevelt after screening the Battle of Midway, John Ford's documentary celebrating a key U.S. victory while vividly depicting the sacrifices required. Ford and his team risked their lives to film actual battle footage. It would be many Americans' first view of real combat. Wounded by enemy fire, Ford earned a Purple Heart, and the film won an Oscar for the best documentary. And there he is. And then this is showing Julia Child reading on her bunk during her time, the OSS. And they have what they believe here might be her very first recipe.
Impending assaults in the Balkans, southern France, and Norway.
Oh, this is crazy. This says, when this ace of spades is soaked in water, it separates to reveal a piece of a map inside. The agent would need more cards to piece together a whole map. Then this is talking about people who are whistleblowers that they consider traitors, like Edward Snowden.
The question then becomes,
I let the world know the truth and all I got was this stupid mug.
The public should see.
Let's go in the infinity room now. Oh, it's all mirrored.
In the past, successful intelligence gathering meant billion-dollar budgets. The public now has tools at its fingertips that had once been the exclusive domain of nation-states. With an internet connection, we have unprecedented access to a wide variety of information, from up-to-date satellite photos of even some of the most sensitive sites in the world to cutting-edge artificial intelligence tools. What used to take analysts days or even weeks, we can now train a computer to do in seconds.
Look at that, they have Jester's laptop. A mysterious hacktivist known only as the Jester shuts down websites he opposes, such as WikiLeaks and radical Islamist sites. He uses this laptop on the left to conduct some of these attacks. Once he successfully disabled a target, he triumphantly tweeted, "Tango down." Oh, and then this is a really great display on pop culture. Things like the Avengers, Get Smart, of course James Bond, Man from U.N.C.L.E., Get Smart, all that stuff.
Motivates spies, trying to understand why
even Star Wars.
Betray their country.
The Russian agent is
When we did the
So this mailbox says this is from the mailbox messenger. Using the mailbox to send messages isn't unusual, but most of us put our messages inside. Aldrich James used his, put the message on the outside. This one stood at 37th and R Street in Washington, D.C., convenient to the Soviet embassy. Ames would chalk a horizontal mark on the left side as a signal to his Soviet handlers that he'd filled the agreed-on dead drop.
When he came in, it was very strange.
See that chalk mark going right down the logo?
And they all shook hands.
And those are the handcuffs that they arrested Aldo James in. His license plate and his suit. And this was Aldo James. And this talks about a man named John Walker. Money solves everything, said John Walker. The Soviet paid him with a silver bar for secrets. That's the silver bar. FBI used it as evidence against him. Over his spying career, Walker took in several $100,000 to millions of dollars. That was it says, working as a private investigator after retiring from the Navy, Walker used the commercially produced equipment in this briefcase to find listening devices for clients. The code he set for the lock, 007 of course. And those are the handcuffs they arrested him with. And that was him. Now in this case, it says, are pieces of the Ryder truck that Oklahoma bomber Timothy McVeigh rented and packed with nearly 5,000 pounds of explosives. His partner in crime, Terry Nichols, men timed their attack to coincide with the 2-year anniversary of the FBI's raid on the compound of the religious cult in Waco. That's Terry Nichols' hat. Wow, and this shows what the like the border checkpoint would have been like for East and West Germany. Here's part of the Berlin Wall, a couple sections of it. Now this room shows all the different places you could hide listening or visual devices in every single one of these things on display. from fountain pens to just ordinary household toys and display objects, books. This display has the handcuffs of 10 people that the FBI raided in Virginia, New York, Massachusetts, rounded up these 10 people, charging them with failing to register as foreign agents. Then said they all pled guilty and the US traded them for foreign prison Russian spies. The largest spy swap since the Cold War. And now you know as much as I know.